Hello everyone, welcome for the Selenium Live project, September 2017 orientation session. So team, I'm going to quickly talk about what these live projects are, and we'll talk about how will you participate in it, what will be the benefit, and we'll also talk about um, the way that we're gonna go towards addressing the application and the test. How are we gonna test it? All right. Um, so primarily, team, these being the main points of what we're gonna do. Let me give you a quick overview. I don't think it'll be a very long session today. I would love to keep it more as Q&A than kind of walkthrough from my end. But what is typically a live project, team? And I'm not sure if you've seen that PowerPoint video of Vision 2020. In that video, you will find the flow chart that I've put together. I'm going to quickly show you that towards the end slide there, and that will become easy for you to relate with. 1 minute, team. All right, so I think, yeah, this is the one which basically says that how do we go about achieving this goal of really getting hands-on experience. The one and foremost thing that is on priority is hands-on expertise. How can we get projects and reference work on your profile slash CV? We will talk about the challenges that typically raise in a live environment and how you go about solving it. Because in the end of the day, when you go to interviews, you talk about the project work. You talk about what you have done, what your role has been, who are the other team members in the project, and so on. The very important thing for you to know, team, is how you work, how you participate into this whole thing. The first thing is there are prerequisites, and prerequisite must be you have opted for video or live training on Selenium through us, through IT Learn. The reason this is critical is because what we teach you, we are very confident that skill is what is required to be very successful in the live project that we conduct, or also in any kind of a project atmosphere that you go to in the market. So that is a mandatory prerequisite. Now, not everyone may not be at the same skill level. So some of you could be very on a scale of 1 to 10, you can try and rate yourself, your technical skill, your framework skill, etc. So this becomes very important for you to ensure that you do it um, as part of a team. So it's always going to be a teamwork and team play. When we talk about teamwork and play, the first thing that comes out is that every member in the team will have different skills, will come from a different background. What it will do to you is when you work together as a team, you all have to deliver the same project. Let's assume there are 50 people. Okay, out of that 50 participants, we will divide into 5 teams of 10 each. Yes, there will be dropouts. Yes, there will be people who do not have the right amount of time, or a schedule will be sometimes challenged, or they will have a skill deficiency. The beauty of this system is by the end of project, you will significantly increase one, your confidence, two, your profile slash resume. You will increase the exposure that you get, and you'll have the right things to talk in an interview. The first and foremost thing that happens in any technical interview team is when we try and recruit, what we will emphasize is, does this person have a genuine experience or is it a made up experience? If the interviewer is really kind, then he or she will say, you know what, at least they're trained on it or have hands on experience. That's the first thing we will assess. The biggest difference in an interview being successful and not is when a question is being asked, do you give a theoretical answer or would you give an answer which you're relating to a project or a practical answer? You can see so many videos and blogs out there which says how to crack a Java interview or Selenium interview and so on. It is good to fill in holes, team, into your learning, into your exposure. It is never good to rely totally on that. And that is where your comfort of truly having to work on an actual real time project and how you can put that together to achieve the success is very, very critical. And that is the reason I've also put this slide. I think it should be there in the folders itself. Let me quickly get that. The learning curve. Mm, it is IT Elan actually. It's the PowerPoint. I don't have it here, team. I don't know where I kept that. Let me search for recent files. But this slide here is basically talking about the same. On the right side here, it talks about how we go about classifying you into basic or advanced training, depending on where you are. Then we talk about project work. Then we talk about internship. The primary difference between project work and internship, team, is that project work you work part-time, remotely with a team. When it comes to internship, typically it happens in-house at Hyderabad or LA, and then you are working more than 4 to 5 hours a day and getting ready to get absorbed into our team. I'm assuming most of you have seen the video, team, as to what the vision has been. And if that vision needs to be successful, this is what we have to continuously do. We have to get more and more of you into our live projects. We have to get you trained, put you to the project work, and make you a much stronger hands-on expertise. This is what the market needs, and this is what we will develop. The other advantage that you'll see that comes out when you go to interviews is this live project, less of Karthik or other trainers speaking and more of you presenting. So every week, eh, you nominate someone from your team, they come together and you share as to what is it that you've done so far, what are the challenges that you had to overcome, what is the progress on the project, where are you thinking something creative as a solution and coming up with it. And the same thing that you'll go and talk in an interview is what you're going to present. So your presence on that platform is very critical, team. This is absolutely necessary for you to be focused and work hard. This is one program that I've seen participants enjoying it uh, to the largest possible. They just enjoy to work in such kind of a project environment, especially because you're not an individual learner anymore. You are a team player. That is what will happen. Now, in terms of our live project, you will be looking at 2 to 3 times a week of presentation. You may be spending 2 to 4 hours daily interacting with your team and executing the project. But every week you will see, you'll put everything together and do maybe a code walkthrough or the entire project walkthrough. The other advantage is you learn from other members in your team as to what they are doing and how they are working. Also, you learn, you get exposed to how the other teams are executing the project. And that is something phenomenal which typically you is not something you can find in the project. And the reason we are able to very confidently do this, team, is all because of one of my other companies called Atomic 77. Out here, we focus a lot in terms of digital marketing and branding. We create web apps, we create mobile apps, workflows, we integrate with e-commerce, CRMs, and we have a large list of clients that we work with. And before any of these applications get rolled out, we need to test them. So when you put this in your resume, it is something genuine. It is not a fake company. These are not fake projects. These are real projects. They have a real need for testing. And what we try and bring you is the latest one that we work with. So the earlier ones that we worked with, we avoid, but we bring you the more later ones. Which not avoid, but whatever is getting changed, whatever needs regression testing is something we focus on. And that gives us the platform to be able to provide these real projects that you could work on. So I'm going to come and quickly address questions that you have. Let's talk about the application unit test very briefly. The AUT walkthrough will be done next week. All right. Teams will be divided based on your locations. Where are you located? Which time zone? Are you in Western time zone, Central, Eastern, UK, Europe, Middle East, India, Australia, New Zealand, and so on? So that you don't have too much of a time difference with your team members. That's how we divide the teams. It is not necessarily based on a skill. But the good thing is the gap in learning will be quickly covered while working on the project. And the one of the finest projects that I've seen being done was the recent one that we finished. The team went all in. They did amazing stuff. They worked with Maven project. They worked with POM, TestNG. They used Jenkins for continuous build and integrations. They've put together Page Factory model. They've created hybrid frameworks, and it was amazing to see the skill level, because when we do the training we don't get to assess how each student is doing. But when we see the project and the work that they're doing, we get a lot of clarity onto how good you are skilled. Now, there's one session that I'm doing next week, which will talk about interview guidance. Why this is required, team, is with such kind of a great skill set that you've developed in the training and the project, you should take benefit of it, and you must be able to apply for the right jobs and get the right opportunities knocking on your door. How do you get that opportunity? How do you make sure your resume gets shortlisted? How do you get the initial calls, and how will you get screened, and which is the best way to do so? How is it done? So that session we're going to have next week, and I'll walk you through it. As of now, team, um, the version that we're working will be the project is Eniot Orange. I'm not sure how many of you are aware. Very few of you must be, because this is the first live production version. So far, we've been working on um, the beta version. Eniot Orange will become the first production version. So in here, you can actually sign up, you can join, and you can log in, and you can start using this application. It is very similar to the earlier Eniot app. The main difference is there are few new functionalities that we've added, and there's a lot of other set of information that we've put, some more new features and so on. And we've also ensured many defects that were there in the earlier version are fixed in this. Yep. So that is going to be the version. Now, for you to write automation scripts using Selenium and build a framework around it is critical, team. Now, this is all about Selenium. That's all we're talking about. So you definitely need to be good in Selenium. IDE, sure, no doubt about it, because element identification is the key thing there. WebDriver, core Java, at least. Okay. Then you need frameworks. You need JUnit or TestNG. It'll be good to have a Maven skill. It'll be important for you to be on Trello, and we will also put things in the GitHub, so it is easy for us to share the code that you're developing and so on. The reason I'm not putting Jenkins here, which is an optional thing that you can do, is the way we will design and we want this application to be tested will be a little different from nightly builds or nightly execution or scheduled automation runs and so on. It'll be pretty different, the approach. um, so there are a lot of things that will come up, team, when we start the first session. After we divide the teams, we then will get the chance to put you through it. From my end, team, that's it for today. I would love to take questions, so I'm going to give a couple of minutes pause and look at questions that can come up over the chat. If you would love to speak, sure, raise your hand so I could address that question as well. All right, team. So before we get with the Q&A, let's take a quick look at a couple of poll questions that will really help me understand the audience better. The first question is coming up on your screen. You can click on your screen and put your option there. I'm going to give 20 seconds for this question. It's very simple. Where are you and who are you in the current career of your career? Are you new to IT? Some IT, but not significant at all? Are you trained in QA, or are you working in manual testing? Or when I say automation expert, the boss, I don't literally mean it. I'm just saying you're someone who's comfortable in automation testing, or you working. I just want to understand the audience, team. So just 50% of you voted. I'll request everyone to take a few seconds and finish the poll so I can switch to the next one. This way you'll also know who are the remaining participants and what kind of a background they come from. 78% voted, team. I'm going to give another 5 seconds. Kindly put in your vote so I can close and share the poll results. All right. So here are the results. 54% of you are working in QA. 21% of you are QA trained, and 15% of you have some exposure to IT field, maybe from a different field or background and so on. That's great. 2% in the automation expert category that you voted, and that's good to have that kind of a crowd as well out here. Great. One more poll team. Actually, two more polls. This is an important one, more personal to me. It's important to know if it's new audience or an old audience. Like you already know who I am, or you the first time you are here, or you do not have too much background. All right, team, I'm going to take another 5 seconds. Already almost 80% have voted. It's a very simple question, and I'm going to close it. And here are the results, team. Almost 75% of you have a decent idea in terms of IT learn or the trainings we do. 20% of you seem to be pretty much new to it, and 6% are of you have no introduction. So, in the emails that we send across, team, there is my LinkedIn profile and my Facebook profile. I strongly advise you to look into that, please. The last poll that I just quickly want to share and get your input is, what is AnyAuth? How many of you have a decent idea about this tool that we've developed? All right, team, almost done with this poll too. I'm going to quickly close and share the results with you all. So almost 37% plus 9% have a good idea about the tool application that we're doing. That's 46% of you. The remaining majority of the others are pretty much new. We will go deeper into the tool as part of this project because we will be testing the latest orange version as part of um, what we have. So, what is this orange version? What are the new features in it? How does it work? We'll walk through each and everything. So, it'll become pretty easy for you to navigate and use it both as a test management and also as a automation tool. So, sorry, I was navigating through my screen and did not get a chance to show some of the screens. So we'll go to this application, team. That'll be the first thing. So walkthrough of this application and what it does and what how you need to test it is something that we can focus now on. All right, great. So I'm going to start taking questions, team. And there are a few questions that came up over the chat. I'll go through them first and then we'll get to questions for the people who have your hand raised. So, first question is, I have a full-time job and my schedule won't allow me to be part of a team. Can I still take on this training to learn framework building? So yes, Ayaz, there's the training which is there, and then there's the live project. Like I said, it is a mandatory prerequisite for you to be trained through IT Learn because we know exactly what we've taught you. And a lot of times in the project, you will have to go back and refer to some of our video tutorials to ensure that there is total clarity for you on a specific area. So that becomes very critical. There's no one who should start directly into a live project because you won't be able to participate much. You could do more from manual testing perspective, may not be from automation, and that should be fine as well. So even if you're someone who's joining the training but don't have the time for it right now to be part of the project, I would recommend you to go back and watch the videos, not just of this September 2017 live project, but also the other recent one that we did for the last couple of months. Would what would be the begin and end date of this program? So Ravi, we are on 7th September. We're looking at about 4 weeks of project work overall that we will have. So in this 4 weeks, you'll be completing the live project. What application will we be working in the Selenium Live project? Vinaya, you'll be working on Eniot Orange version, the latest one. That is the one you'll need to automate and test. And as part of the automation, what is the scope? What is expected? I'll clearly mention in there. Um, do we have a certain date at this point when we're going to start the project? Yes, it will start next week for sure. And then next week, we're looking at maybe mid of the next week. Nadeep? Matin, good evening to you too. Even if someone is new to Selenium with this session, be easy to learn. The training itself has been planned in such a way that the even members and participants who are absolutely new to IT, have no coding knowledge at all, have no clue of even the basic or manual testing or automation testing concepts, is absolutely fine, because that is how the training has been built. We take you from the very basic level and then go advanced, and that typically takes anywhere between 30 to 60 days for you to be very comfortable, and then the project will keep going. What I would recommend is you can be part of the project right now, and you can um, look at the training. Sorry, keep watching the training videos or the live programs that we have, and be more of a team member with who's more of a functional tester who knows the application, and your time and effort you could put it in there. How to opt for video or live? Ranjit, I'll have my sales team send an email across with the details so you can look into it. What if someone is only having the theoretical knowledge of WebDriver? Can she join this program? Absolutely. Even if you did not get a chance to do too much of practice or hands-on, it is fine. And my perspective is WebDriver is nothing complex. It is just a bunch of commands, a bunch of few statements. It is the coding and the framework that is very critical, and that is the core of both how we do our training, and also how the industry is seeking the current skills. Are you going to take us as interns after live project? Yes, that is the idea, team. Now, for the vision of Varkasa Inc. to really be successful, I need to do that. There is no way that I could achieve the vision that we have without hiring people. And we've started hiring people very aggressively right now for software testing, especially for people to be certified both on Eniot certified tester and Eniot certified developer. And hence, we need to look at your performance in the project and get you on board. That was exactly what I expected to do 2 3 days back when I had the other session, in which I wanted the old Selenium Live project members to participate and give them the idea, which I'll share with them through this project orientation. Uh, Hi, what is the scope of job market in Selenium, and do we need to learn also QTP? So Binod, for that, it's the market is very clear. It is all Selenium right now. It is just not Selenium team. It is tools, applications, frameworks built over Selenium. There are also the other open source tools in the market like Selenium, which are focused more towards acceptance test driven development and behavior driven development, BDD and ATDD. It's all going to the storytelling capabilities at the very initial, and how the shift left is happening. So, if you ask me between is HPUFT dead? Not at all. They've come up with HPUFT Lean also as a version, and that's a great platform to learn from. I've already I already have Selenium and Java exposure, so I can join direct to live project. Yes, you can, but then you have to have the access to our video tutorials for sure. If you don't have the access to our video tutorials, then you will be missing out on the way we instruct you to work on the project, because the project is, though you have a choice to approach it along with your team in a specific direction, the most important framework building and concepts are there only through the tutorials. Can we have recording of this training? Yes. So everything that we do, be it orientation session, demos, the training or the project, we record them and we give you access to it. Let's see what else is there. How much does it cost to be part of this live project? I'll have my sales team send an email with the details and other formalities for you to start getting there. A few more questions here. I'm interested in completing a project without taking a course. Is it possible? For those, it is very tough for us to accommodate such kind of a thing. But maybe if you're really skilled, you can apply directly for a job with us, and we could have you work on some of our existing projects that we have. Are we getting experience in developing framework? Totally, yes. What will be part of the scope is framework development. So it is just not writing individual scripts to execute some test scenarios. It is going to be about building a hybrid framework and then writing scenarios in such a way that the framework understands and executes automatically. How many days a week will the training be? Do I need to learn manual testing? So number one, this is not training, this is live project. So the training schedule will come up to you later, but this is part of a live project. For those of you finished the live training or the video training, this is the perfect time. For those of you who are maybe joining for the training and the project, you look at um, a little bit more hard work to get onboarded quickly through learning and then be part of the project. How many days a week? We're talking about 2 to 3 times. We meet every week for you to present to us on the progress. Is there any chance of working in any other application? Vinaya, right now, I think Anyot Orange has big scope in terms of testing. This is a new version. Lot of changes have happened. This needs to get tested. That is the reason we are emphasizing to go for this application. But then once you're part of it, you'll keep having access to more applications that we're doing, and you'll get an opportunity to test them too. How many days have we? Okay, so that I answered. I'm from Sydney, Australia. When will the groups be created? So Bindu, the groups will be created before the next session. So once we get the confirmed list of who are participating, we'll do that. Does the internship paid? Guys, please make sure your questions and English is correct and when you present, because that talks a lot about it. If we don't, as software testers, communicate correctly, be it spoken or written, it does not give a right indication at all. The question I'm trying to understand is, does the internship paid? Is not right sentence. Will we pay for the internship for the right candidate? Absolutely yes. But then you need to be at our either Hyderabad or LA office. For some of the more senior members who really working towards it, we will have you as part of QA on air and recruit you on that. What are the complete requirements for internship? Um, for internship, like that video and slide that I was trying to show you here, you need to have gone through the training, have gone through a project work, and then you get a chance to apply for internship team. So that is very critical for you. Okay. Last few questions, then I'm going to look at some of the hands raised. I'd been trained couple of years ago in Selenium, but not through IT Learn. Should I be eligible to attend this live project? Yeah, so Sudha, this is one question that keeps coming very frequently. The like I said, and like I've been answering, it is tough for us to do that because we will suddenly tell you to watch this video that will help you, and then you don't have access. Your other 8 or 9 team members are able to do it, and you're left behind. If you don't have access to that tutorials, then you're not on the same page or pace with the other team members. That gap is the reason we're saying you should be part of the training to be part of the project. What is the duration that we will mention for the project in the resume? If it is 4 weeks, is it 4 weeks? Aditi, here is what it is. For me, I'm personally very, very honest and straight, and that is what I emphasize and kind of teach to all my students every time. What you have is what you have. You don't need to say that I worked in for 2 years in a project to get a job. It's a wrong notion. Even if you worked for 1 month in a project, but if you can showcase what is it that you've done, that adds a lot of value. So how many days you worked or how many weeks you worked is what you should be putting on your resume. Are we going to cover anything mobile app testing and integration of two frameworks, that is REST API plus WebDriver? No, not as part of this as mobile app testing. We do not have a mobile app in any art. Is video access for lifetime? No, there is, uh, I believe, a 6 months and a 1 year thing. Some of these FAQs and so on will combine it together. My sales team will send it across to you all. How Selenium is different from UFT? They both are automation testing tools. The primary difference is HP UFT is a paid one where the license fee is high, and it uses VB script as a programming language. It has got a great front end. It's got a great IDE, all integrated together. It does a little bit of cross-browser testing, but HPUFT helps to test other desktop-based applications as well. Selenium, on the other side, is open source. You can code and write in multiple programming languages. It is truly cross-browser, and it does not have any license fees. But then it does not have an inbuilt IDE like HPUFT does. The Selenium IDE that you think, which is the Firefox add-on, is very, very basic level team. A WebDriver and combining it with programming is what is advanced, and that is where you need to get into. Is Selenium more demanding than UFT? Yes. All right, so there's only one hand raised, team. I'm going to unmute you, Ganga, to begin with. If there's anyone else who has a question, feel free to raise your hand, please. Hi, Ganga, do you have a question? You have your hand raised.
No, Karthik. Actually, I had like how many hours of Selenium training it is?
So, yeah, sure. The answer to that is, from my perspective, the minimum number of hours that you require is about 25 to 30. But then, as a video library and what we do as programs consistently, we have almost about 100 hours of overall learning that is there. But the 25-30 hours will get you started very strongly on coding frameworks and um, creating customized frameworks for various projects. The remaining video tutorials could be on a need-based learning. So suddenly you have a project that you need to learn TestNG about, or you need to look at how to do database testing using Selenium. So you pick those videos and learn. So 25 to 30 hours will get you a great start, and then you have access to over 100 hours of videos on a demand basis. Whenever you need it, you can go and watch it.
Okay, thank you, Karthik.
You're welcome. Anyone else has a question that you need to be unmuted? Please raise your hand. All right, team, looks like most of the questions are addressed. We will kind of compile a few FAQs that are common and I did not answer, especially with joining formalities and so on, and have those sent. And we'll see you next week along with some of my team members who will help us to execute this project. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you next week. Bye all. Thank you.